Welcome to Sequel Podcast.
Season 47, episode 33.
You keep doing that, and it's confusing.
I know, I just say stuff because it comes out of my mouth hole.
Well, quit saying stuff. Quit talking on this.
Make the noises out of my mouth hole.
Look, these are fucking so dusty.
Everything's all dusty and dirty. We need to do some housekeeping.
Yeah.
So we're
Last time you heard from us was a short episode.
Yeah, we did Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper, Super
Experience.
Duper. That's what I should have called the
It's
episode.
Alice Cooper, Super Duper. That would have been an awesome. What do we call it?
Alice Cooper Rocks.
Oh, okay.
It was very uninspired and very kind
Yeah. It was whatever.
of what have you.
The show was dope, though.
Show was dope. So, as we've been...
The beer was way too expensive. I just want to say that.
Oh, man, $30 for two?
Yeah, $15 a fucking pop for just like 22 ounces of beer.
You,
Not cool.
you could have gotten like
I
4
coulda got-
six-packs.
I could have got smashed at the fucking liquor store before we went.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe next time I'll do that.
Well, I was thinking because we both had work. Or no, I didn't have work. You had work. And
I'd work the next day.
lately, when I drink alcohol, I kind of get stomach aches from
Yeah.
like nothing.
Right. That's
Although, I did do a little pre-gaming
Before.
Monday.
Hey, attaboy.
Monday night. Not
Attaboy.
that it did anything. And it seems like I sober up real quick now.
Huh.
Without even eating.
Maybe your liver's just working good now.
Or it's never been
Or it's
working
never
bad.
worked well.
It's never been working. It's never worked bad
Maybe.
because I haven't drank alcohol a lot in my
Right.
life.
Except for those times when you get all completely schmat-faced.
Right, which is few and far between. Sorry, did I
Yeah.
blow up the phone?
No, it's okay. Our connections are kind of shitty. That's what we were talking about. Upgrading our shit guys.
Right. So as we've been kind of advertising the last few episodes, I went to Vegas and did the screenings,
The film festival has happened.
and it was very underwhelming.
Was it a lackluster?
It was super lackluster, and there are multiple theories as to why.
Okay.
And I've got my own opinion and views. A lot of reviews of this particular film festival are like 4-star. You know, like everybody loves it,
And your experience was not so.
my experience as a filmmaker,
Right.
and you know what, like I've been, like you know, we've talked.
Yeah, you've been to a couple of
I've
different
been
film
to
festivals.
a film festival that was like a weekend long. It was like a
Right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
And I'd never heard of any of the movies, and none of the movies that I'd seen really, not really had anybody in them that was like famous. I
Right.
wasn't seeing like the Brad Pitt Film Festival.
Right.
It was not Sundance, and there were people in these screenings that I saw at the horror film festival I did in Denver. This one, I will just go out and say it right up front. Both my movies, it was basically just me, and my mom, and my brother, and my sister, and their significant others
At the screening?
at the screening, and the baby.
Ouch.
But there was one little old Asian lady
Okay.
that was at both.
Maybe she's the money man.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
So, I'll try to make this not as dry, so you need to be funny, okay?
And I'm going to try real hard.
Okay, so,
Matt's playing with his balls at the table, by the way.
so it's a legit movie theater
Okay.
in a casino.
Right. So, like, kind of like the GSR is, that kind of feel if anybody's been there.
Smaller casino,
Okay.
more like the Sands.
Okay.
More like the Sands.
So it looks swanky as fuck online. Like when you look at the pictures of the online advertisement for the
Oh
Palms.
yeah, but for the Palms or for the AOF, because the AOF, when you click,
Yeah.
when you go to the Action on Film Festival, the picture they have up there is not of the Palms. It's of
Okay. Those motherfuckers.
it's of the Strip.
Right. And they just put like the biggest, shiniest casino they could find
Right.
in the middle.
They put the Eiffel Tower that they have on the Strip
Right.
in the picture.
Okay.
We're not anywhere near the Strip.
Right.
We're in a good location to get from the Palms to the Strip if we wanted to.
Right.
But
This is
it's
kinda
not
off the path a little bit.
it's off. It's off
Okay.
Strip for sure.
Okay. So let's.
But you know, you walk in, there's a casino, and it's a good location because you got the casino, and then you have the food court area,
Right.
and then you have the movie theater.
Perfect.
So to get to the movie theater, there's a food court full of people who are eating and doing their thing.
Right.
So it's kind of like, oh, maybe there's people here, they're eating, and we can give them movie tickets,
Right.
which we tried to do.
Nobody wanted anything.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
So, you know, this is just kind of set up.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
it seems okay. And then, you know, you look at the movie theater, and they've got it set up to where They've got like a red carpet where you can stand and take pictures.
Right.
But it seemed very kind of like, let's make this look bigger and better than it actually is.
Okay.
So it's like that thing where you're looking at family photos or you're looking at pictures of people on vacation.
It's like, wow, they had a great time.
They're smiling in the moment and when they're taking the picture.
Because that's what you do.
But the before and after is like, we gotta fucking get to where we gotta go and we gotta fuck off and it's like, oh, this is cool, we're here for 1 second, but we gotta fucking, I'm hungry, I gotta take a shit, I gotta get here.
Exactly.
But
typical family.
But in the moment, you're taking that cool picture in front of that cool landmark and everything else like that. And that's
what
kind of
everybody sees. Everybody sees the high end part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it was. But it would have been cool
if we'd all been there.
Well, I'll get to that too. But it would have been cool if it was more. It felt very exclusionary.
Okay.
And I kind of, because we did a lot of talking, me and my family, me and my sister, about like how we felt about it, and how it seemed, and it reminded me of like the local theater here in Reno, like the local,
like the group, the theater,
very
groups.
cliquey. So like you go and you see the plays here, and it's always the same people that are acting in the plays, and it's always the same people who go and see the plays.
Yep.
So it seemed very much like this was geared towards the Las Vegas
the local scene.
independent film network. Like those were the people who got like the Friday, Saturday spots.
Right.
And it was all of their people that were going and seeing and everything else like that. And it seemed like it was geared towards like
do a show, bring all your friends. It was a lot like that when I was playing music. It was like we would play a venue. In case you could probably attest to this in the early days, you play a venue, and then like 90% of the people that show up to see you are people you know.
And that 90% is like 5 people that you know.
Exactly. Like 5 or 10 people that you know, and that's like, and then the people that are already at the bar that aren't necessarily there for you.
Right, they're like,
they're like, this fucking blows or whatever, But I could see that, and that sucks.
But
it was kind of like that.
I'm sure it was great for the people who had their movies because maybe like on that Friday, Saturday was when they had like I know the CW was doing interviews on Friday.
Really?
Yeah, last like the 17th or whatever.
Wow.
CW was doing interviews and
at the festival.
Well, I mean that's the guy sent out the email saying like, hey, if you're you're around, CW's here doing interviews now, so head out.
Okay.
I never once saw the guy, Dell, who runs it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I dealt with him through email and everything else like that. I've talked to he called me, and when he accepted Street Toughs, he called me and was like, hey, I liked your movie. I thought it was funny. I don't know how to market it, but I dealt with him directly.
Right.
Never once saw him there. And what's funny is because like I saw his Facebook feed, I saw him doing stuff.
But you never ran into him.
I never once saw him, and it's like
not a big venue.
Yeah, it's not like there was like thousands of people. Of course, I didn't run into him.
Right.
It was dead. I show up there 11 o'clock in the morning to get my goodie bag.
Right.
Which consisted of it was like a Monster bag, like Monster Energy.
Monster Energy, okay. It
had like 5 to 10 flyers from the other movies.
Okay.
In there, which were already set out for people to grab off of the counter.
Right.
It had like a Las Vegas film mug.
Okay.
And like a little rubber like the bands that you put on your
silicone bracelet thing.
Yeah, for maybe one of the movies or maybe for the indie film.
Okay.
And that was all that was in there. Like it was basically like grab a grocery bag,
stuff all the shit.
Grab a couple of these flyers and throw them in there.
Give you a bag so that we can say we gave you a bag.
And it's weird because in the email that I got, they're like, send us your flyers that you have, but only send like 50 because we like to rotate and make sure other movies also get into these goodie bags. So when Stephanie, my sister, went down to get the tickets that I had purchased. As a kind of like a test run of buying tickets online, because we wanted to also buy some tickets online to give out.
Right.
And we wanted to buy them ahead of time. And we wanted to get them to maybe give out.
Sell out.
Not for that reason, just because we wanted to make sure it's not, because it said we only do will call, we don't mail out.
Right.
Attention over here.
I'm paying attention. Somebody's being distracting.
Because we wanted to have tickets to give away.
Okay.
And if it's will call only, we didn't want it to be like, oh, go up and say your name, and we didn't want to buy like a bunch of tickets, and only I was able to go pick them up.
Right.
We wanted them to be able to get them and pass them out.
Right.
So when my sister went there, she said our flyers were up there on the table.
Okay.
But the entire time that I was there, they were not put out.
Right.
And I'm thinking maybe it's because other movies had like huge stacks, and I was only told like 50.
Right.
Because they wanted to make sure that it'd be fair with everyone else. So like if they ran out of mine because they'd already delved them out to the goodie bags,
Right.
I had nothing to represent on that counter anymore.
Exactly.
Or either maybe they just ran out of space and anything that they didn't get up on the counter, they left in the box.
Hard to say how they actually handled it.
And another thing is like when the festival was coming out, I was always checking the web page and looking at all the different movies. And every time I checked on there was constantly new stuff. Like
Right.
there was never a consistency to what I was looking at. To like there was always a new movie poster on there. It's like I don't remember seeing this movie yesterday. I don't remember seeing this movie the day before.
Right.
Every day that I look for my movie, there's always new titles on there. And it would have been nice if they had put like an actual schedule of what movies were showing when.
Right.
All you could do was click on the movie. It would say what day and what time.
So you had to go through each one and actually select it instead of making like a schedule where you go, okay, Monday, these movies are playing at this time.
Right. So what they had was that you could either look through the selection of movies,
Right.
or you could look at what the schedule would be. And the schedule was just 12 to 12 movies are showing.
That's totally not helpful.
Not helpful at all.
That is so less than helpful.
10 to 5 seminars are showing.
Right.
11 to 7 sign up, check
Right.
in. So like I would have to put in the work to look at whatever movie was showing during my block. And one day before I left, I was looking, it's like, oh, it looks like I'm the only person that has a movie showing at 10 o'clock on Monday.
Right.
But since they were constantly adding things and they were never fully updated with what was going on, that wasn't the case. It looked like there was multiple screens with things going on also. Like, at the movie theater, you can go either right, you can go left, and
Right.
there are things going on.
Right.
So there was actually another
Other
theater on the other
shows.
side playing at 10 o'clock. So, like, I'm not going to call it unfair, but it seemed, like, hey, we're showing our movies at this festival, and if anyone else wants to come along, go ahead. And
Right.
I also, like, like if you go to a big music festival,
Right.
you have your main stage, which goes on
All
like,
the time.
Like, no, it goes on at like 8 o'clock at night.
Right. And the other shows.
And you've got like maybe two other smaller stages where people are playing, but nobody cares about. Like,
Right.
But people might be able to watch, but like, I know I went to Ozfest, I never once checked out either of those stages. We were just kind of dicking around until 8 o'clock.
See, I went to a smaller festival here in town. This was years ago when I first got out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was out at the Alamo, the gas station here.
Mm-hmm.
And same kind of setup. There
Sparks.
was, over,
Like going towards
going towards
Fallon,
Fort
Fernley,
Vegas or whatever. We're
Los-
going to head that way.
blah, blah.
Then it's right on the edge of town over there. And same kind of setup, one big stage, two small stages. And, we knew when the headliners were going to be, like the bigger name headlines, not necessarily the headliner,
Right.
but, you knew the schedule, what time those bands were coming on. And then everything else was just kind of fill. And we did check out the smaller.
You didn't need to show up early in the morning if you didn't want to.
Exactly.
Because your show wasn't going on until 8.
But we were there for the whole thing. We showed up kind of midday, and we popped around to the other stages to check it out. But I guess it depends on your outlook on what you're going to do, how you're going to spend your time at a festival like at the film festival.
Right.
Are you going to spend your time looking at other people's movies, or are you there to jerk yourself off and watch your own movie? That's how I feel about it. Like, are you there to appreciate other people's art?
Well, look, and like here's the thing: is if you're a filmmaker there, you have your lanyard that says creator on it, and that's your pass to go into all the movies if you wanted to.
Right. You could go see whatever movie you want.
I could go in there right in the morning, start in the day and end the day, and jump to every single movie or
Right.
whatever that I could.
Did you watch other movies?
No. And I didn't necessarily have, like, I had the time to do it, but I also kind of didn't. You
Right.
know, I was there to represent my movie. And, like, it didn't seem like they were promoting other filmmakers to see other people's movies.
Right.
It seemed like all they did was say, like, you can promote your own movie if you want. And I did my best to promote my own movie. And actually going there and seeing how it was done, I realized that there was more that I could have done. But I had no idea to what extent I could promote actually at the festival.
Right.
Like, I could do what I can do on my end. And I can go to Facebook and everything else. And I can tell everyone in the movie to, you know, like,
Do
hey,
the same thing.
Yeah, do the same thing. Nobody did. Maybe you.
I did.
Um,
That's because I love the movie.
but, like, I got there, and that's another thing. Like, our showtime was Monday at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Tuesday at 10 p.m. And this is like a festival that starts Thursday, and then goes Friday, and then goes Saturday, and goes Sunday, and goes Monday, and goes Tuesday, and goes Wednesday, and goes Thursday, and goes Friday. Like,
It's a long show.
it's a long show, and to assume, and like, once that initial weekend's over with,
People are dead.
all the interest, and everyone's partied out. It's like, oh, that thing's still going on. I thought we were done with that over the weekend.
Right.
People go back to their lives after the weekend's
Sure.
over with.
Sure.
You know, maybe what I was looking for
Happened on Friday. and
happened on
Saturday.
Friday and Saturday,
Right.
Which would have been nice. Even without my movie showing, I could have been there and kind of schmoozed.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I should have sent you down there on fucking the weekend. Didn't even think about that. But see, like, this is the thing: is hindsight's 20/20. I had no idea.
But it's also experience for the next go round.
Absolutely,
Like,
and
it
I've
gives
got
you an
ideas
idea.
for this too.
There you go. And that's the learning curve that you have to take with you. Yeah, maybe we didn't do great at this one. Maybe it wasn't what we wanted it to be. But now we have an idea of what it looks like to be part of a thing and
It's
have
like how
it go on.
how we always talk about Disneyland.
Exactly.
You go there for the first time and you're not sure what you're doing. You go back again and you have a game plan.
Exactly. You know exactly where you want to head, things you need to knock out, the times and the, everything else. So that's good.
So when I showed up to check in, like, I was trying to talk to the lady there and kind of get an idea and hope that maybe she would offer up some information. She didn't.
Useless.
Useless. I was like, okay, what's going on? What can I do? She's like, oh, there's some seminars. They're off-site. And this was like at 11 in the morning. Around 12, when the movies start, the filmmakers kind of just hang out here in this area. And I was there waiting for my sister, who had a doctor's appointment, to come back and we were going to all do our thing as a family and try and, see if we can promote the movie a little bit. But there was no one to promote the movie to. No, like, I saw one guy show up and get his badge, and he was just kind of standing around,
And maybe
walking
he was
around
like
in
you.
the-
He didn't know what to do.
Right, exactly. It looked exactly like me. He was walking
Yeah.
around, like, maybe he was hoping more people were going to show up.
Right.
And then he sat down at one of the tables in the food court, which is what I did.
Right.
And I was like, this is fucking stupid. So when they came back to get me, I was like, okay, there's this independent film factory is what they call it, up the street, where the seminars were. Maybe that's where everyone's at.
Okay.
So we go there, and the dude's doing a seminar in the little black room in the back where
What
they
was
got the
it?
green screen.
What was it about?
Filmmaking,
Generally?
generally. And, like, if anyone in there was a filmmaker already,
They
the
didn't
first
need to be sitting there.
the first stuff that he was talking about,
Uh-huh.
they should already know.
Right.
Unless they're a first-time filmmaker and they're doing it on, like, oh, hey, let's have fun and do this. Opposed to me, who's been making movies for, like, the past 10 years,
Right.
15 years. But everything he said up front about making a movie and how to keep it on a micro budget and what to do, like, that was all stuff anyone like me should already know.
Yeah, you should already been there.
But then he started talking about, like, distribution stuff, and he gave out some information that I had no idea about that I can actually start looking into.
Awesome.
Which only helps me a little bit. What I need is money. So
Yeah. Well, distribution can help with that.
maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Like, not quite the way he was talking.
Right.
and he sounded like he knew what he was doing. This was a filmmaker guy who's got some movies out there.
Right.
But it did give me some ideas and some information, and I took that information down. But it was just like where we premiered like God's Salt, and smaller room than that.
Really?
Yeah, smaller room than that, but had
Wow.
like chairs set up, like maybe 3.
Because the picture, the video I saw of Street Toughs looked like a bigger theater. Like it looked like
No. When we showed it to the cast and crew and the friends and family when we first premiered
Right.
God's Salt and Street Toughs over here in Sparks,
Right.
that was a much smaller.
Oh, that was
No. That was much bigger than where the seminar was that I went to.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I got you.
Yeah.
Carry on.
And he had like, maybe 10 chairs set up on each side.
Sure.
So
I'm going to waste a bunch of space on something that not a lot of people are going to go
didn't
to.
have a lot of space to waste.
Yeah.
That took up the space.
Right.
So there was maybe 10 people in there that was listening to this guy, and he had his slides going. And you look at these seminars online, and each seminar is like $25, and they didn't give you information of where the seminars were at also online.
Right.
I found it through my own like research on like Facebook and what's going on to just check updates and see like where all the action is.
Wow.
Where I couldn't, like, I see action going on, and it looks like right where I'm at, I don't see nothing going on.
Wow.
But yeah, no, we went to the seminar, and they were having rotating seminars, but the guy just like, hey, come on in, you're from the fest, come on in. Like, we didn't pay to get in.
Right.
So, like, is the $25 legit? Or, were they just letting whoever in because...
Because they couldn't sell any?
Yeah, no, or, whatever
Yeah.
the case is, because we didn't check out any other seminars. Oh, and the seminars that sounded interesting are taking place like Thursday, Friday.
Right.
Like it looks like there's a movie market or like a script market thing,
Mm-hmm.
and who knows exactly how
Good or bad that's going to be.
Right, those are going on like tomorrow and Friday,
Okay.
which those are things that
We're going to miss.
we're gonna miss, which would probably benefit us, and which is what I was looking forward to. So like I was only able to go down Monday, Tuesday, because I wanted to be there to represent my movies.
Right.
I didn't know that what I really wanted, like, wouldn't matter if I was there or not. It really wouldn't.
Right.
It was cool for me to be there and go into a movie theater and see my movie on the big screen, which
Right.
Street Toughs, by the way, looks a lot better on the bigger screen.
Sure.
Like, much better than if you were to watch it on TV
Right.
or where we watched it
Right.
prior. It plays a lot better. 'Cause you
Nice.
can hear it better. It sounds better.
Right.
It sounds louder.
Okay.
So if you're watching home on the TV, like the opening stuff where it's just talking with me and Wes,
Right.
it plays a lot better on the big screen. Also, it's like the camera moving and shit, you can hear that a lot more though. So that's like the downside, is you can hear the
You catch the
little
extra
bit,
noise.
You catch the extra noise like
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, they probably boosted the fuck out of the sound, too.
So
Who
I mean,
knows?
that's the only thing. But
Sure.
like Street Toughs, looks a lot better on the big screen, except for like the out of focus shit.
There's also that.
I actually kind of liked watching Street Toughs more than I liked watching God's Salt.
Yeah?
But also watching Street Toughs, I realized that there's a lot of ambiguous talk about who's who in that movie. So they're always talking about my daughter, my granddaughter, my wife. Like Wes is talking about, they got my daughter. Meanwhile, the person who's most likely a daughter in the movie who we see the most is actually the granddaughter of the bad guy, who is the baby that we see.
Right.
So when Wes is talking about his daughter, who we never
You kind
actually...
of have to pay attention to.
Yeah, you really have to. You never actually see the daughter.
Right.
Because the daughter, we had no third person.
Right.
We had no extra face. It's just a body with a bag on their head.
Right.
Which we legitimately swapped between Gabby and Cheyenne when needed.
Which was hilarious.
So, like, if you watch it, it looks like there's an extra person there.
It does look legit. We did a lot of that because we had light crew
We had
on
no,
that
yeah, we
movie.
had nobody. Like, literally, Street Toughs, the production value looks so much worse than God's Salt does.
Right.
But like it still works. It's still good. It's
Sure.
still fun to watch. Anyways, as I was saying, I guess when I checked in, there was nothing, and it looked like nothing, and it didn't look like they were doing much to promote people going and
Like
seeing
other
the
people
movies.
seeing the movies, not just the film
Yeah.
festival goers.
And you know what? There was another theory that we were talking about, like maybe the deal with the movie theater that was showing the movie, because it's still running You know, you're still
Regular movies.
still running regular movies that people are actually going to pay to see.
Right.
So, like, I'm thinking maybe they have a deal set up with the theater, like, maybe they play a flat fee to get them,
Right.
so that they'll make 100% of the tickets they sell. And maybe they're like, as long as you don't try and steal ticket sales from our other movies, you're fine.
Right.
So, like, you can't tell people who are going and walking up to buy a ticket to fucking
Go see your free movie. or
Superman,
whatever.
right? You're like, hey, go, $10, go check this out. So there might have been some kind of clause with the theater and the people put it on the festival.
Right.
I don't know, but it seemed like they weren't doing a whole lot of promotion,
Gotcha.
and like, who knows how it works? Who knows?
It's all cloak and dagger shit. Like, you don't know how it works in the back end, regardless of how hard you try.
Because they had it set up and it looked cool and it looked great. Like, hey, I'm at a film festival, but there was no buzz.
There's no action.
There was no fanfare, unless like somebody was making, and someone was showing a movie. And you know what's fucking what pisses me off is a lot of movies, not like a lot, but a lot more than there rightfully should have been, were like fan films.
Really?
Yeah.
Like fan films of other films.
Like there was some guy made a Black Lightning movie, like the DC comic book hero.
Like the TV show?
Yeah, no, there's a TV show now, but this guy went and made like a Black Lightning movie.
Okay.
And there was like a Halloween, like Michael Myers. Someone
Right.
made a Michael Myers, and that was showing there.
Admittedly, you did want to do that, by the way.
No, yes, but
Yes, but
like it's weird because
that's not your, like...
and there was like a Stephen King adaptation there,
Okay.
which is fine because he does the Dollar Baby thing. Not that this was,
Right.
but there was more adapted movies there than rightfully should have been
Right.
because
It's not your
property.
your intellectual property.
And
exactly.
a lot of the description in the movies was like, this is a non-profit fan film made purely for this reason.
Right.
But they're selling tickets to this movie, so
Exactly.
someone's profiting off of it.
Right.
Of course,
And
the
non-profit doesn't always
makers
mean
aren't
non-profit.
profiting off of
Exactly.
it. But yeah, no, the guy that made the Black Lightning movie, his movie played before ours and let out right before ours.
Right.
Not in the same theater as on the other one, but like he
Did he
came out with all of his cast and crew and everything, and like they were there in their circle doing their thing, blah 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 blah, and then they left. Like there was no real fanfare. I wanted some buzz. I wanted it to be like, these are people who are interested in making movies. But really, once again, it was like, you go see a play. It's always the same people in those plays, and it's always the same people that go and see them. So Monday night when we go, we had 4 tickets. I bought 4 tickets for each movie to give out. So God Saw was Monday, and we gave the tickets to Tasia to go and talk to people and give those tickets away. And she found like 3 girls, like young chicks, and she gave them the tickets, and they were like, yeah, no, we'll go. And so we went into the movie theater, right? And we went and sat up, and there were some people down from us, like I think like a guy or maybe a couple of guys. I didn't get a good look. I know there was at least one guy that was closest to me. I don't know who he was sitting with. And there was another movie playing before ours started. Like legitimately, it stopped, and they hit play on ours.
Right.
So the person came in and it's like, hey, there's going to be a Q&A out here, which I'm like, this is another thing. So like when I read that the guy was doing interviews, I had emailed him. It was like, oh, I see you're doing interviews. Are you going to need me to do that? He's like, oh yeah, if you're around, go ahead. And like, that's not helpful. Like, where am I supposed to go? And at a certain point, that guy stopped sending emails, like stopped responding to me, like while I was in town.
Right.
Like, because I had, information that I needed, and he just stopped getting back to me.
Grade A fucking douche.
So yeah, no. So like, all he said was like, "Oh yeah, no. If you're around, go ahead and do an interview, whatever."
it's like yeah, if we can find anybody that wants to interview you.
So it's
Fuck
yeah.
face.
Well, he was like, it said that he was doing interviews by appointment only. So that's why I was trying to ask him, like, should I be doing interviews? And Instead of him being like, yeah, no, tell me what time is good. I'll get you in to interview. This is where I'll be. Come down and we'll interview. It was just like, oh, yeah, no, if you're around. Around where?
Yeah.
Like, literally, there was just the counter where they were selling tickets and, like, a red carpet thing they had set up for taking pictures if, you know, you told them you want to take pictures. Oh, and for God's salt, when we were standing there, I was watching them take pictures, like the cliquey people.
Right.
And they were like, oh, you know, they were doing their thing and having, like, fun, goofy photos that they were taking.
Right.
And there were people with, like, good cameras, and they had a camera set up. And I was waiting to get, like, my nephew and my brother to kind of take pictures. And you probably saw the pictures that I did take.
It looked like they got taken by somebody else.
No. So, like, and while I was there, one of the dudes was like, he had his camera. And the other guy's like, you know, they're looking at it, it's like, oh, you don't even have an SD card in there. So by the time I go over there, the dude that was taking pictures, he took my camera, my phone,
right,
and took pictures. He's like, we don't have a camera right now. So, like, I wanted to get my pictures taken by them so that they can put their photos on their shit like they do with everybody else.
Right.
But I got fucked out of that. So anyways, going into Godsalt, the movie that's playing before, someone comes in, it's like, oh, hey, if you want, you can stay for the movie that's next, or we're doing a Q&A. Some people get up and leave, right? But the dudes that were up here on the top row with us, they stayed. The other people that we gave the tickets to, they came in and sat down and watched.
So they did come.
They did come.
Bonus.
Now...
this is where it gets good.
There's a couple scenes in my movie that I didn't legitimately write and put into my movie because Patrick felt that they needed to be in the movie.
Right.
So Patrick came up with this monologue that Pigeon gives where he's talking about Spicks and Beaners and being in prison and fucking this guy and him blowing him and, you know, putting out this racist, disgusting shit in his monologue maybe 20 minutes into the movie.
Okay.
Those girls get up and they walk out. They fucking get up and leave. And following them, the dudes that are sitting down from us, they get up and leave. Right. Now, another thing that I think contributed to them leaving, and I think those girls were Mexican. They said that they were, like, Mexican.
Right.
And so they're young also.
Okay.
So, like, if you sat through the rest of the movie, this villain character who says disgusting things... Like, you see him get raped in prison, and you see him get killed. Spoiler alert. I mean, it's a 4-year-old movie, but still.
Right. He's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy, and bad things happen to him.
The point of the movie is to build a bad guy that the audience loves to hate.
Right, not a bad guy that the audience wants to love.
Exactly. So you're building this bad guy, and he says terrible things because, newsflash, motherfuckers, he is the bad guy.
Right, and we don't want you to like him.
No, we want you to not like him. So that's why he says awful shit.
But we don't live in a world where people like bad things to happen. We live in a world where people want good things to happen.
Yeah.
And
there's no appreciation for exposition.
I mean, we have a racist president in office, and we have police brutality going on. So we don't live in a world where we can kind of have fun with those things in our fictional endeavors.
Well, and I was talking to it with another friend of mine where you talk about what happens in a movie and the things that hit people emotionally that will turn them off of a movie, or that, you know, because
the triggers.
The triggers. And
that's a completely millennial term in our new century.
It absolutely is. I feel like in a movie when you're creating something that's visual, where you're telling a story, you know, that basically means nothing. It's a story for the sake of storytelling.
Right. It's not a documentary.
It's like sitting around the campfire, talking shit, telling a story that's not real.
Right.
But from a filmmaking perspective, I like to think that our job as storytellers, and, you know, more yours than mine because you're the writer, but when you're telling a story, you want to hit people in the feels sometimes. And sometimes that feel's not good feel.
Right.
You don't want everybody to be like, oh, misty-eyed, teary.
I want you to hate him so that you enjoy it when he gets his at the end.
Exactly. And that's part of telling a story. You're building a setup, and I think if you can't appreciate that, then, you know, you're really missing the point.
People to have an emotional experience. Because when I go to the movies, I go see a horror movie, I want to be scared. I go see a comedy, I want to laugh.
That's what films should be.
Right.
That's what a film should make you feel like you're part of the story.
I want to have an emotional experience.
You have to have an emotional attachment to the story to buy in.
Right.
And if you already, 20 minutes in the movie, you fucking hate this guy, you can't wait till he gets his dick chopped off in prison.
And if you can't fucking,
Spoiler alert.
like... If you can't pull yourself out of the movie, like, I'm not personally attacking...
Mexicans
I'm
or
not
anybody
making
else.
some kind of commentary on who I am towards these things.
Right.
Like... Yeah,
That's what people don't get.
Like, you need to stick through the whole movie to understand and fully appreciate the thing.
Yeah, and it's a film festival, so I mean, we're not talking about PC fucking stuff.
Like that painting right there that my sister did. It's not representative on the corner. I'm not covering up half of the picture.
Exactly.
You gotta look at the whole thing. And you can go in and you can inspect it, all the little parts if you want.
Sure.
Like going back and watching a movie, catching things you missed. So yeah, so these girls got to walk out. Now another thing that I think contributed to this bullshit as well is my brother brought his kid with him, the little baby,
Right.
like 9 months old. And he was being fussy, so they left. So my brother and his girlfriend and the baby left, and they also took my sister's boyfriend with them because he works
Right.
Tuesday, Wednesday. So we were like, if they leave, you can leave with them. If we end up sticking around for like a Q&A or an after party or something, you can take off with them.
Right.
So they left early on in the movie.
Okay.
So, and I think that helped open a door for people being like, oh, we saw some other people walk out.
Right.
So if we're not comfortable with this, we saw them walk out, we can go, and then the other people can go. And the people that were up there, like the dude and maybe the other dude,
Right.
they were laughing at things that I would laugh at my own movie.
Right.
So they were enjoying the parts that I made enjoyable in the movie up to that point, but
And
then
they
they left.
left.
Another thing, I think everything that played before our movie
Mhm.
were like 5 to 6 to 8 short films stacked on each other.
Right.
So
And they
these people
realized-
might have stuck through it thinking like, oh, this is going to be another 10-minute short movie.
Right.
So half an hour in,
They're
it's
like,
still going. Those
okay.
people left. It's, it's 10:30 now.
It's on Monday night.
Yeah, like, we can go with these people.
Yeah.
So those people might not have been offended.
Sure.
Like, if they were two dudes and they were gay dudes and they were offended by the fag line at the front of the movie,
They would have left earlier.
they would have left then, opposed to, like, sitting,
like a
and,
couple of
sitting
fags.
and laughing at the funny stuff that I
Sure.
put in the movie. Like, they
Sure.
were laughing at things that weren't a joke.
Gay
Like,
fags.
I didn't put jokes in the movie, but I put funny stuff in. Like, if a character says something funny, you can laugh at it. It's
Right.
not like I put in,
It's
like,
not a comedy, but there are
like,
funny
hey, I
lines.
just flew in and my arm's tired while I'm
Right.
shooting across the road. Like, I didn't put in, like, jokes, but I put
Yeah.
in funny stuff in the movie. Like, I don't even know what to call that. Like, what do you call that?
I don't know, comic relief.
I don't know.
Because it's not like a gag, it's not like a joke, it's just situational comedy.
Right, it's situational comedy, and you can laugh at the situation.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So
Even
I
if
guess
the movie's not funny, there
I
can be
guess.
things in it that are funny.
that make you laugh.
Exactly.
So-
And even horror movies have that.
So we think, like, okay, so if we offended the girls,
Yeah.
that's fine. That they were young chicks and they don't understand independent film, and, like, they weren't mature enough to stick it out to the movie
Right.
and appreciate a well-told fictional narrative. Fine.
Right.
Okay. And we were lucky enough to have the dudes to stick around for that long if they only left because they thought it was going to be short and it was late and they wanted to go.
Sure.
Okay, I could understand that.
Sure.
But there was a little old Asian lady that stuck it throughout this movie. And that's it.
When you say little old Asian lady, like your grandma old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she stuck it out through the whole film.
Stuck it out through the whole film.
Did you talk to her
hold-
after?
Hold on.
Okay, go.
We got a theory for this too. So,
She was
so
like,
so everyone left, and we're like, "There's nobody in here." And then they're like, "Oh no, there's still somebody right there." And, like, I know that Patrick says the N-word later on, and they're like, "Is that a black person?" Are they black? Because now we're on, we're gun shy, we're on edge. We're like, well, who's gonna get offended next? Like, all the air, all the wind got knocked out of my sails when those people left, and then those people left, and I'm like, oh my god, the fucking theater is clearing out because of this fucking monologue that Patrick wanted me to put into the movie that I didn't even want in the movie.
right.
But I will defend that monologue being in my movie because, and we talk about this on the commentaries for this movie,
Sure.
like, he's talking about, like, having this Mexican prison bitch, but then when we see him later on, it's really
The other way around.
the other way
He's
around.
The bitch.
He's the bitch.
So
Like,
he's just talking tough.
right, it's just words from a bad guy, and I'm not being exploitative with
No.
anything in this movie. I'm trying to have some fun scenes that you can kind of get into and be like, oh my god, there's a sex scene. Oh my god, there's,
Yeah.
this kind of scene. And I'm not being exploitive in
No.
any way. So yeah, like, at the end of the movie, we leave, right? And she comes out while I'm waiting for them to go to the bathroom and for us to leave. And I'm like, hey, thanks for sticking through the whole thing. And she was like, I think she said something like, oh yeah, no, I liked it. Why did you die so quickly? And I was like, oh, because like I, wanted to focus on directing and let everyone else do their thing and everything like that. And she's like, oh, okay. And she shook my hand and was like, I like it. And then she left. And then while we're waiting the next day, we see her come back.
Okay.
All right, but before all that, I don't dick around with going to the fucking movie theater super early like I did the day before because
Right.
I know it's going to be the same whole
Bullshit.
lot of nothing.
Right.
So when we get there, it's the same whole lot of nothing. The Black Lightning people come out of their movie and they do their little, like, we're hanging out here because we just got out of the
Circle jerky
movie,
thing.
and then they leave.
Right.
There was no other huge fanfare for anybody. So, like, unless I was a Vegas resident and everyone in my movie lived in Vegas and they could bring all their friends and family to Vegas, like, that would have filled the theater.
Right.
Because nobody else in any other movie came and saw my movie, and, like, all the people whose movies premiered Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they
kinda
did their
fucked
thing.
off
Yeah, they
early
did their
and
thing.
everything.
Like, we got to see it, and, if there's cool shit going on, we'll go, but if not, because you can see who was part of what and who was clicky with what and everything else like that. And
Sure.
there was no... Like, when I went to the Mile High Film Festival, the woman who ran that movie theater, and this wasn't, like, a huge theater, it was, like, an indie theater where they showed, like, indie movies or smaller scale movies. Like, professionally produced movies were played there.
The
But
B-grade stuff.
well, no,
Not
like-
A-list stuff.
Like, no, they play A-list stuff, but they
Okay.
don't. But it was like a smaller theater where they had like 3 screens.
Okay.
But the lady who ran it, every movie that I went to see at that theater, she came out and was like, "This is the movie that's playing," and she would be like, "It's a really interesting movie. This one's probably my favorite one out of all of them, and I hope you guys enjoy it." And then at another one, she was like, "Oh, this one's really interesting. I hope you got someone right next to you to talk about it because this movie's gonna get you talking." Like, I was there for all
Kind
that.
of pump it a little bit.
Right. She ran, like, she was like the person who ran this theater, and she came out and she introduced the movies and she talked about
The
them.
hype man.
But she didn't have to do that, and like there was none of that here. There was.
Like, nobody was driving the boat.
It was more like I said, is that they were there to promote their movies and promote Las Vegas, and like, we can get the movie for a couple extra bucks for the whole week, and just people will pay to submit their movies here, and we'll just put them in.
I could see that feeling.
That's exactly how it felt. And looking at the award shows and all the nominations, there's a shit ton of categories for nominations. Like, we need to make sure everyone gets nominated, so it's like a participation prize if you win, essentially.
Right.
So, like, do we have everyone represented, and we got enough that we can hand out at least one to everybody? Like, it feels like it might be a participation
I hope
prize.
it doesn't feel that way when we get there.
Having said that, I hope we don't not win one, if
No,
that's
that'd
the
be cool.
case.
I mean, you can still put it on something and be like, hey, look, we won an award at a film festival.
But I felt that we should go to this, because originally I didn't want to go, because the tickets are expensive, and having to go there and everything else. It didn't seem like a thing. But then I started feeling good, and I started feeling lucky, like, because I've been feeling very unlucky. I started feeling good about it, but now after all this, I feel like they just typed our names in, and there's no hopes of possibly winning anything.
Right.
So anyways, so Tuesday night we go there, and we try to give those tickets away. And Tasha's manages to give 4 of those tickets away. You keep fucking with my thing, I can't hear anything.
I'm fucking with my thing.
I know, but it's hitting mine.
I don't know. They're broken. They're not working so good. That's better. Much better.
So Tasha gives these 4 tickets away to these people. And I'm over there as it's nearing time to go in, and I see those people get done eating, and start to try to give those tickets away to other people. They obviously didn't want them anymore, so those tickets probably got thrown away.
That sucks.
And before I had a chance to kind of get over there and get them from them, because I could see they were trying to give them away.
Right.
Like they were gone. So those tickets obviously got tossed and wasted. So that's $40 down the drain. But kind of $30 because my mom, we had 5 tickets and I thought we only had 4, so we got an extra ticket somewhere. Like when my sister picked up the tickets, they might have given her 5 instead of 4. And then I won a little bit of money playing at a machine, so
Okay.
I recouped a little bit. So maybe I only lost like $10.
Not 100% loss.
Not 100% loss. So there are no tickets for anybody who's going in. And then I guess when we go into the movie theater, they went in ahead of me
Mm-hmm.
because fucking Tasia took off. We don't know where my brother's girlfriend. Don't know where she was. Sam was looking for her, so they come into the movie late because they don't know where she is. But when like my sister and her boyfriend and my mom, they go into the theater. Everyone from the previous movies standing around, like digging around. I guess there's something wrong with the screening, but like we're waiting for our movie to go on. It's already past 10, and these people are fucking like dicking around, like not moving on and getting my movie going on time. But the little old Asian lady's not in there, but she comes in late, and she probably came in late because those people were dicking around in there.
Okay.
But she misses the whole setup.
Right.
But she stuck around to the end, to the post-credit scene and everything else like that.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was just us and her in that movie theater. So, like, it seems kind of strange. She doesn't seem like the type of person. And I'm not trying to stereotype or anything
No,
like
but
that.
it makes you wonder why somebody...
So maybe she's one of the judges, or maybe she's part of something
Maybe.
that she puts into... Or maybe not. Maybe she is just that person who loves movies and...
Yeah.
But, like, probably not. She's probably, like, one of the, I don't know, a judge or a
affiliated,
local critic or
Sure.
something. I don't know what she is, but she saw both my movies.
I mean, to me, that shows a little bit of effort.
And she,
anyway.
it's not like she was there. We watched her show up
Right.
prior to
It
my movie.
Feels like she showed up to watch your movie. Interesting, I say.
Or she could have been one of the people that's like, hey, this is the list of movies you need to go watch for the
Right.
festival, and my movies were on it.
Who knows?
So, it's unlikely that she was just randomly choosing
Wanted to go
movies.
see your movie.
Right. And that's just a realistic opinion.
Sure.
So yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is we're not going to win any like People's Choice Award or.
Oh, we'll see
Anything
come
like
Friday,
that.
Saturday. We'll find out Friday or Saturday morning.
Saturday.
You know, that's another thing is they put countdowns for like 2 days and the award nominations will be up. That
Right.
countdown ended and those nominations were not up.
Fags.
So I had to keep checking to see when, if we were nominated or not.
Right.
And then they had like a writer's nominations coming soon. They're probably still not up.
So it sounds like it's kind of poorly managed and poorly promoted, and
I don't want to say poorly. It's probably more like if you and me were like, it'd be fucking great is if we bought a bunch of fucking parts to a car and built one ourselves.
sure.
And we got all the parts and we got them. We're like, well, that's cool. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Eventually, we got it. It's there.
And we're working on it,
Yeah, no, we got it. We got it.
but it's not a car.
I mean, maybe that's a bad analogy.
Maybe. I don't know. So did you get to talk to the little old Asian lady the next day after
No.
Street Toughs?
No.
No?
She didn't come out right away after the thing.
Okay.
And I didn't see her again. And I don't know. I didn't get to see her again, so.
So I guess we'll see. So are you still at least a little bit excited to go to the awards thing?
I'm more excited to kind of go and hang out. Like, you've never really been to Vegas.
Yeah.
So we can go check out the M&M stuff.
I want to go to the M&M store. Buy
And
some
the
fucking
Hershey
M&Ms.
store and the Coke store. And
There you go. I gotta get my kid a snow globe
There you go.
because that's the thing. the traveling snow globe collection.
So, I mean, I'm semi-excited. And then finding out today that, like, because we got a room at the Palms in case we're drinking or whatever. And we
then-
just go straight up to a room if we're, we don't got to drive anywhere.
Right, but the award show is not at the
The
theater.
award show is not at a theater.
Where is it?
Down the block.
How far away? Like walking distance?
7 miles away. It's not walking distance.
No.
Taxi distance, Uber distance.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll hang out on the strip during the day, check shit out, you know, with my family.
What time is the thing?
It's at 6, and she said show up at 6, and then they'll usher you in for the red carpet around like 7:30.
Okay.
So like we show up at 6, probably like 5:30 even.
Buy some $14 beers, hang out.
And yeah, and so who knows exactly what it is.
And there's
So,
food, right? There's food.
yes, you'll be
Yeah,
getting
so
a chicken dish.
I'm good with food.
Hopefully.
We'll
But quite
see.
honestly, the fucking food court food seems a lot better. Like Stromboli, I had a Stromboli today.
Yeah.
I'm jonesing for another Stromboli. I plan on having a Stromboli once we check into the Palms, or like the next day.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
So
So
that's it. Dude.
yeah, that's the film festival. So at least there's some takeaways and shit from it.
A lot of
And-
takeaways, and you know what I'm thinking is like, God, it would have been so nice if the cast would have gone
Yeah.
for both movies. Like if we had a full cast, both movies, both days, like we could have had some buzz. We could have had some buzz,
Right.
and everyone could have been around and schmoozing. Like I'm not a social person.
Right.
Like even if it was just you and me,
We probably could have done something.
something. If it's everybody, you've got your fingers in all the pies.
Right.
If there were pies there to have fingers in.
Yeah.
And they could be like, oh yeah, no, I'm in the movie. Here's Matt. I'm the guy that needs an in. I'm not the guy that walks up and creates
You don't
my
just
own
start
in.
talking to people for no reason.
No, and I need to have the perfect moment.
Need a hype man.
So like, it would have been nice if it would have been the perfect fucking storm if everyone was there for both movies, and we could have fucking tore that place up. Like, we probably would have raised some eyebrows.
Right.
Like, a lot of eyebrows.
Just having the group of people that large.
Right. They
in a
might have
dedicated
called
area.
some people. Like, hey, we've got a huge thing going on here.
Right.
Guy that's running the show, head on over.
Right.
Like, they might have been like, hey, fucking come take some pictures, instead of, like, not being
attentive.
Not being attentive in any
Yeah.
way. So I'm thinking, like, if we do another movie, and this is probably like a sure thing, you just submit it and they put it in.
Right.
Not having a premiere on my own, the premiere would be the film festival. So if you want to see the movie, fucking get your ass out to Vegas. Get your ass to Vegas.
Get your ass to Vegas.
So like if you want to see it, that's where to go.
Yeah.
So then plan on like, hey, premiere Vegas.
Right.
That's where it's going to be.
Make a plan. It's going to be next year. We're doing it. That's the option.
Right. So if we start making a movie now, and we have it done and ready by May, June,
Right.
it's submit it, and then we get it, and then we go in
Exactly.
August, September, whenever they put it on next year. I don't know if we have the time to do that.
Might be a little tight.
I would love to make the Christmas short.
That one I'm still excited about because I think that one could pop. I think that one works.
So, like, maybe we can get something going. Like, clearly
Maybe a
Robert,
short- maybe a
like, I
short
want
would
to
play
make
better.
Get Fiasco like it's nobody's fucking business. Like, I think that's an awesome fucking movie.
I still want to make 9 moves.
And Night Moves is semi-undoable.
9 moves is the movie.
Night Moves is not the movie.
That's the one.
Because I wrote Night Moves with the idea that somebody else was going to help get us a lot of connections and networking, and it didn't happen.
Right.
But Get Fiasco I made so that we would be able to make it.
Also true.
So, like, maybe we can get Fiasco made, like, fucking super quick.
Perhaps.
Like, if
so.
we
I mean,
had a
really,
month-
it's not that complex of a movie.
It's not. We just need the people and the commitment. Like, you got another kid coming. Dakota just had another kid.
Sure.
And there are people that I wrote that for that don't even talk to me anymore.
Also true.
Regardless of whether, like, it's because of me
Intentional
or
or
just
not,
it's just
yeah.
because they don't fucking
They don't reach out.
they just don't reach out. So, like, and on top of that, like, I had uncasted roles. So, like, maybe we can just kind of get the ball rolling on this fucking movie. We might even be able to make it now. It's still summer out there. It's still hot. We still have the sunlight. So, like, if we, like, I don't know what Robert's doing.
I haven't heard from Robert except for like drunk texting.
What did he say to you, fucking?
He sent me a video of a Linkin Park song. And
Is
me
he
and
still
like
on
20
that?
other people.
Because you got the fucking responses.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, that is that in a nutshell. Any questions?
I think that I'm sufficiently let down at this point. Like from the aspect of what the festival was like compared to what I would hoped it would have been like. Probably a lot like yourself.
I thought it was going to be like a party
like
situation.
hustle and bustle and a lot of people and things to do, people to talk to.
Like a convention.
Exactly, and that's kind of the atmosphere I expected to hear about, was a convention atmosphere where you show up, you go through, and you do the things. You know, if I was there, I probably would have pushed us to go see some other movies, figure out how that worked, and go see some other shit, watch some of the shorts, you know, and I would have been talking to other people that were maybe, you know, creators and stuff like that.
Maybe.
That's how
but
I
I didn't even really see anybody.
I
And
know,
they were
and-
off doing their own thing.
Right.
Like, there was a
Good.
group of people, and, like, Stephanie was like, that guy keeps looking over here. Like, you can see who's who, because
Right.
they have a badge. And, like, everyone that had their own fucking lanyard with their fucking creator badge on it,
Mm-hmm.
weirdos.
Look at yourself.
No,
You're
like,
a weirdo.
I don't mean, to, like, I'm doing
like
a,
Michael,
I'm blanketing it. But no, like,
what's that fucking guy's name? The
like, clearly I'm a random looking guy. You
absolutely.
know? But there were some super other random looking guys. And this was a festival that's filled with 11 festivals. So, like, they had an indie festival going on at the AOF Mega Fest. You know, the Hollywood Dreams. And then they had, like, a Young Filmmakers one. And they had a
Right.
screenwriting one. So there was, like, a bunch of festivals going on within this. There was no real super focus on what was what, because God's Salt and Street Toughs are both nominated in the AOF Awards, which is what we're going to on Saturday. Whereas God's Salt got, like, 6 nominations, 5 nominations at the Hollywood Dreams one, which is Friday.
Right.
So I did not submit God's Salt to anything but Hollywood Dreams, but yet it got nominated for the AOF one on Saturday that we're going to.
Right. Interesting.
So there was, like, it was like a goulash where you take all the shit in your fridge and put it together because that's the leftovers dinner that you're having tonight.
That's what you have.
So, you know, they said, hey, every filmmaker's got a film, fucking show it because we're showing it, but, like, hey, unless you're part of our clique, we're not going to promote your movie. Super hardcore. Oh, and we're not going to let you know that you can. You just need to know the right fucking password or whatever.
Yeah. You have to
So-
be part of the right group.
God, I was going there with something. Where was I going with that? Because you said you were let down.
I was let down because it was
yeah.
like a festival.
Right, because you said you would be talking to people, and I was
said
trying to
there's probably,
say,
like,
like, there
nobody
was
to talk
nobody really to talk to.
Yeah.
Like,
So I
oh,
know.
no, that's what I was saying. There was a group of guys, and one guy was looking over at me because I had my creator badge, and my mom went over and talked to him, and I was like, hey, you know, our movie's playing. The guy's like, oh, yeah, you know, it looked cool. I saw the thing, but, you know, our movie's showing also at the same time over there at the other theater, so I'm not going to go see your movie.
Right.
That's where I was going with that.
Gotcha.
So, like, the 5 guys that made that movie, they went and saw their movie. I didn't see anyone else. Like, there was not, like, oh, man, there's a line for all the tickets for the movies. They're going to at least someone's movie.
Right.
It never once looked like that.
Wow.
I'm willing to bet that everyone that...
Saw a movie with somebody that was in it or created it.
Right, and they probably are from Vegas.
Yeah.
So everyone that I was promoting my movie to is here in Reno.
Which sucks balls.
And not one person, you know what sucks is fucking Kelly said that, she's like, I can probably go. It's looking like I can go. And then when I text her later, like, let me know if you can go and how many tickets you need, I'll get them for you. And she never once returned my text.
Yeah.
Like, she had talked to me. Someone who hadn't talked to me in, like, years actually fucking said something to me, and we were kind of conversating and joking around a little bit.
Right.
Up to the point to where she was like, you know, I actually might think I might be able to go. And then when I try to finalize it, she doesn't respond to me at all. And I think, like, you know, maybe she's going to pull a fast one and show up.
Like, show up. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Even Mathew said he might go, but then he ultimately was like, I can't make it.
Sure.
I keep dropping my balls, man.
It's about time.
All right, well,
So we'll catch up on the other end of this when we recap the awards, banquet, or what have you.
maybe you'll be able to do some networking and schmoozing.
We'll see. Maybe that's the right place. Maybe there's going to be enough people in the right place to do that kind of thing, and we'll see what happens. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give it my best effort, regardless of what it looks like, and we'll see what happens.
Well, look, all of my scripts are on my Amazon thing. All I have to do is bring it up, and I can download a PDF, and I can email it to somebody.
Right.
And I have all of the storyboards for Get Fiasco on my phone. Those can be shown or sent to
And I
somebody.
think those look dope as fuck.
And,
So anybody who would be looking for a project or curious about it,
and Sequel Productions.
there's something there.
And sequelproductions.com redirects to my YouTube page where all the movies are, and all the trailers, and everything else.
Well, we're gonna bust up and do as much as we can when we get there on Friday. Well, Saturday, I guess, because we're gonna get there late Friday.
And to be
Saturday,
honest,
we're
I
gonna
think
put our best effort
I
in
think they'll be cleaning
at
up
the show.
And I think they'll.
But
be
I mean, at the
award
awards,
show.
that's where we're gonna try to do our work. So
So good luck
for
Cory.
this one, it's gonna be lights out.
All right. Well, I'm Matt Bonta.
I'm Cory Easley.
Peace out, Las Vegas.
Vegas.